Ladies, have you ever said something and later wished you hadn't? Words hold power. They shape not only how others perceive us, but also how we see ourselves. Today, I want to share 12 words you should consider eliminating from your vocabulary if you're a woman over 70. Trust me, making this small change can have a big impact. And don't miss the last word on this list. It's one you likely use daily without realizing its effect. 1. Just. This tiny word might seem innocent, but it can subtly diminish your confidence. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I just wanted to check in"? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help. The word just can make your statement sound hesitant, almost as if you're apologizing for speaking up. But you don't need to soften your words. You've lived through decades of wisdom, growth, and resilience. Your voice matters. What to say instead? Instead of, "I just wanted to check in," say, "I wanted to check in." Confident and direct. Instead of, "I'm just saying," try, "This is what I believe." It may feel bold at first, but over time, speaking with certainty will feel natural, and you'll notice people listen more attentively. 2. Old. Many women over 70 use the word old as if it defines them. But does it really? Think about how often you say, "I'm too old to try that." "I'm just an old woman." You know how it is when you're old. When you call yourself old, you might unintentionally reinforce limitations that don't need to exist. Yes, age brings change, but it also brings strength, knowledge, and experience. What to say instead? Replace "I'm too old to care" with "I've lived long enough to know what truly matters." Instead of "I'm old, so I can't," say, "I'm finding new ways to do things." Your age is part of your story, but it doesn't define you. You are wise, seasoned, and full of life. Let your words reflect that. 3. Sorry. Let's be clear. Apologizing when you've made a mistake is a sign of strength, not weakness. But if you're like most women, sorry has likely become a default response, even when there's nothing to apologize for. Think about these common phrases. "Sorry to bother you, but..." "I'm sorry, but can I say something?" "Sorry, I don't know how to do that." When you say sorry unnecessarily, you're subtly apologizing for your needs, opinions, or even your presence. Over time, this habit can erode your confidence and make others take you less seriously. What to say instead? Shift the focus. Instead of, "Sorry I'm late," say, "Thank you for waiting." This turns guilt into gratitude. Instead of, "Sorry to interrupt," say, "Excuse me, I have something to add." Instead of, "Sorry, I don't know," say, "That's interesting. I'd love to learn more." Breaking the sorry habit takes practice, but each time you reframe your words, you reinforce your confidence. You're also setting an example for others, showing the power of speaking with assurance. 4. Can't. How often do we say can't without realizing how limiting it is? "I can't learn that new technology." "I can't travel like I used to." "I can't start something new at my age." The word can't slams doors shut before we even test whether they're open. It's often more about mindset than ability. Now let's be honest. Some things may be more challenging as we age, but saying can't assumes defeat before we even try. What to say instead? Reframe it. Swap "I can't" for "I'll give it a shot" or "I'll figure it out." Instead of "I can't figure out this smartphone," try "This is new to me, but I'm willing to learn." Remember, every skill we have today was once something we couldn't do. Growth never stops. Why should we? 5. Should. The word should is loaded with guilt and obligation. It sneaks into our thoughts and conversations more often than we realize. I should exercise more. I should visit my children more often. I should have saved more when I was younger. Every time you say should, you're either criticizing yourself or placing unnecessary pressure on your choices. It creates a cycle of guilt and dissatisfaction. What to say instead? Swap should for I choose to or I want to. Instead of I should exercise, say I want to move my body because it feels good. This simple shift lifts the burden of obligation and replaces it with motivation. Instead of feeling pressured, you'll feel empowered by choice. 6. Ugly. Let's talk about one of the most damaging words we can use. Ugly. Unfortunately, many women don't just use it to describe objects or situations. They use it on themselves. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, "My hair looks so ugly today. These wrinkles make me look ugly. I hate how my body looks. It's just ugly." Stop right there. Using this word against yourself only reinforces a belief that your worth is tied to your appearance. And that belief, it couldn't be further from the truth. What to say instead? Replace ugly with words like natural, authentic, or beautiful in its own way. Instead of focusing on flaws, find one thing to compliment about yourself every day. Recognize that aging isn't something to hide. It's proof of a life well lived. Every wrinkle tells a story, and every silver strand reflects wisdom and grace. 7. Lonely. The word lonely carries a heavy emotional weight. Saying, "I feel so lonely," isn't just describing a moment. It's reinforcing a state of mind. The danger? The more you say it, the more you believe it, and the more you isolate yourself from the very connections that could bring you joy. What to say instead? Replace "I'm lonely" with "I'm seeking connection" or "I'm open to new experiences." Take action. Join a club, volunteer, or reach out to an old friend. Loneliness is a feeling, not a permanent state. By shifting your perspective and taking small steps, you can turn moments of solitude into opportunities for connection and fulfillment. 2. The word too, as in too old, too tired, too late, creates unnecessary limitations. How often do you say, "I'm too old for that. I'm too tired to try. It's too late for me to learn something new"? Instead, shift your mindset. "I might need more time, but I can do it. I'll find exercises that work for me." Your abilities haven't disappeared. They've simply evolved. Can't complain. On the surface, this phrase sounds neutral. But how often have you said, "I can't complain," when you were actually struggling? Try these alternatives. "I'm managing, but it's been a challenge." "I'm truly grateful for how things are right now." Speak your truth. Your feelings deserve to be acknowledged. "I used to be." This phrase often carries a sense of loss. "I used to be so fit." "I used to be more social." Instead, embrace the present. "I'm staying active in ways that feel good now." "I enjoy meaningful connections in my own way." Celebrate who you are today, not just who you were. It's always been this way. This phrase suggests that change isn't possible, but growth is always within reach. Swap it for, "I'm open to trying something new." There's always room for change. Your next chapter is waiting to be written. "I'm fine." How often do you say "I'm fine" when you're not? This phrase can block meaningful connection. Instead, try, "I'm managing, but I've had better days." Today's been wonderful. Be real. Let others in. Final thought. The words you choose shape your reality. By letting go of these limiting phrases, you open yourself to more confidence, joy, and possibility. Which of these do you catch yourself saying most often? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay radiant. Sparkles.